It's the beginning of week 21, and I'm going to show you the parts of things that I have done and maybe do some more of the parts with you. I keep thinking I'm going to do this live, but it's so much writing. You really don't want to spend time watching me write, I don't think. And there's a lot of thinking, and so I end up just kind of babbling. So the first thing is I have these two pages that this page has been with me for in some version for 21 weeks. I started this at the beginning of the year. Maybe I started a little bit in December. Oh, my printer's turning off. Worked really well for me week 1 through 14. These are not all things that I'm doing every day, all the time now. Some of them are aspirational, but the format was slightly different and was working really well for me. And a few weeks I changed it up, and for some reason I just cannot get back in the swing. Also, I've been way too focused on my channel, so just a lot of other things have fallen off. So this week, getting back to routines and habits is going to be one of my main things. This has some of my goal things in it, my goals and habits that I'm working on. But when I made my goals for my late spring season, again, just a little overview, I'm doing 2-month seasons. This book is for late spring, which runs May and June. I had one book for January, February, which I called winter, one for early spring, which was March and April. And so now we're almost halfway through late spring. And so when I made my goals for this season, there's dog hair. There's just always going to be dog hair. I decided I would make something like this. And again, it just hasn't worked for me. I've tried printing them separate. I've tried doing them back to back. I used to, instead of having a sheet like this, I had a page and that I would print and then paste in here for the month. But I wasn't keeping things in my sites as easily. So I wanted something like this so I could have it sitting on a stand. And I'm still trying to find my groove. So these are the two things that I'm going to try my best to really utilize this week. I did my weekly reflection for my reset. I looked back at the previous week. This is really based on the weekly preview, the left page this is the portfolio version of the full focus planner. The rest of this, there's not a lot of writing I'll do. I don't use this street tracker. I do write the weekly big three, which I put down here. Just did a 1-pager this week. And so again, part of what's on here then is goal review. Well, you saw I have that, and I'm part of what I've already done was review the goals. And so I set my big three really goal focused, working on healthy habits. I have some things specifically that I'm going to be doing that I'll talk about later. I'm just trying to get in a better groove, keeping things up in my house little by little instead of having to do big chunks of time. And then really track what I'm spending my time on my channel, because it's just I'm letting it overtake things, and it shouldn't. So I've kind of already done my goal review, delegated and deferred. Daily notes, that's going back through the daily pages. And that's really what I did to come up with my wins, is I go through my daily log in here and I highlight based on my areas of focus, which, and that's how I pulled to get my reflection part here. I made my overview for the week with my appointments, and I'm going to put some more stuff on here, not on this video, but I will go back through and figure out what tasks I should be doing what day. The next thing on that full focus, I won't pull it back over, is task manager. So last week, one of my tasks was moving my task from things tree, which I just don't open regularly enough. It's not working, to, I knew I wanted a weekly list, but I needed something not digital. I needed something written again. So I've brought my task list into here. And then, this is the things for longer term and I'm purposely kind of showing, not showing. I don't know what's in here. That's probably fine. But longer term, some are projecty, some are tasky. It's just by area of focus. And then I will make a weekly list. So that's this list here. says tasks, and I'm not necessarily doing it every week, but whenever it gets too ugly, I'll just rewrite it. So I'm still working on the one there and just adding things. But that's my current task system. I do need to go through and still won't do it on camera, but I have things in my reminders app on my phone/computer, my Apple reminders. I will add into the system, and then I need to pull things out of that and put on here. Oh, there's a couple other little things that I will update the index. Again, you don't need to see me do that, but this is, again, color coded to help things stand out by my areas of focus. And I put for where the weekly reset is, week 19 into 20, week 18 into 19. And then for the week, I'll have, between 3 and 5 or 6 pages for those daily logs. When I wasn't using a separate daily page in the Full Focus Planner, I was more like 5 or 6 pages, but since I'm using the daily pages in the Full Focus Planner for the actual daily planning, I'm more like, week 18, 3 pages, week 19, 4 pages, week 20, I haven't added up yet, but it's 3, or I don't have in here, but yeah, but it's 3 pages. And so, so I will update the index, and then I have 2 things that I update in here. Planning and recording by week. If you've been a planner hopper and you can never find where you were doing things, as I change. So one thing I will go in, and when I started filming this, I realized that was missing from the index, which was kind of hilarious. But so I will go in here. I don't think there's anything I can't show here. So I'll go in here and say that in week 21, the only change I made, or week 20, my task list I had in here, that was my weekly task list. Week 20, I also moved my task manager or my overall list to my A5. MNEMOSYNE. These little books, they're just so nice. Nice feeling paper. It's cream, which, if you have to use correction, whiteout, that's not great, but there is cream whiteout that works. But yeah, I have dot grid on this size. I have lined on the bigger size. I have this. Really like these. So both this and then my beloved Hamelin notebook are linked below. We'll pick those up on Amazon. And yeah, more dog fur. So I've got that. And then the other thing I update in here is my gardening week by week. But I don't have anything to update because it was raining all week, so I didn't do anything. So those were the big components of my weekly review. Sometimes I do more reflecting. I didn't do a lot of reflecting this week because it's really, all I can say is I worked on my channel too much. And so my daily page starting Monday, this is Monday 5/19/25, and I'm ready to get started for the day. So I have a feeling there would be some of me editing, popping things in and out of here, but hopefully that was helpful. Like I said, I keep thinking I'm going to do this live, but it's a lot easier if you're using one planner to do a live where you're all in one place. I'm so all over the place because I'm looking at my computer. I've got this, I've got this, I've got this, I've got my pages. I don't know. Let me know if you'd be interested in that. I'm kicking that idea around, and like and subscribe helps me out. I really do want to know what you want to see. Let me know, and we'll see you again soon. Thanks.